Good evening, San Francisco, and all you out there in internet radio land. This is a very special episode of Pure Rock for Now, people. I'm your host, Nick Jeffries, and next to me here, the lovely Stephanie Day. How's it going, Steph?
Lovely.
Oh, good. And we are here at Crylove Studios in Danville, California, with the owners John Baker and Tony Gerard. How's it going, guys?
Good.
Going well.
Thank you so much for having us here. It's a beautiful
Total
studio
pleasure.
you guys have.
Yeah.
And again, it's a very special episode. We have a live studio audience here today. So give it one more time, one more hand for you guys out there in the studio audience. Thank you, everybody, for making it. And so we'll talk a little bit about the studio. We'll talk a little bit about the bands you guys play in, Story Road and Lotus Rush. And then at the end here, we'll have a little mini concert for everybody. And we're all very excited for that. So,
all right.
Yeah.
Cool. So let's get right into it. Talking about the studio, how long has Crylove been around for?
Been around for 6 years.
Cool.
Yeah.
And how many bands would you say you've recorded in the past 6 years here?
Oh my goodness.
We've got to be pushing about 100 at this point.
100 bands.
Jeez.
Sure.
Yeah.
Wow. Any major acts gone through here? Something that maybe we've heard of, other than, of course, our band that's recorded here. But
And what's the name of that band?
of Alouette.
Yeah.
Anybody other than Alouette record here that we might have heard of?
Wow. I've had a lot of people roll through here. The fabulous Paul Stinson has rolled through here, who's operating the
Of
camera.
course, I love your cameraman. Big shout out to him.
Radish's Strip Miners guy. Just a whole host of. I mean, this morning I had Jeff Keys with the Utmost Something, a band out of Oakland, and also who plays in Escape Project. Shout out to Jeff. And it just goes on and on. I couldn't even tell you all of them.
Okay, so it kind of a wide variety of bands that you see
Definitely.
here.
Everything
from
from
teenagers, like crappy punk bands or something starting out, to seasoned musicians. Would you say?
Absolutely.
Oh, we've even had people in here recording opera audition CDs.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So a wide variety of
Whoa.
things.
Yeah.
And maybe not even band. Do you do voiceover work as well, or
Plenty of that,
other
yep.
non-music related things too? So
We take all comers.
awesome.
If it makes noise, we're here to record
You're
it.
into that?
Yeah.
Awesome. And I also noticed it's according to the business card, a rehearsal studio as well.
That's kind of what I used to do when I got started, just to draw people in, just to get people in here and keep things rolling. But I do none of that anymore, really. There's one band that comes every week, and they've been coming ever since I opened up the door. So that's the Crisis local band. But no, totally booked with recording, so that's all I do here.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And did you go to school for recording?
I did. I went to Chico State and studied recording there a while ago. And,
Cool.
And
then it was
Tony,
a lot of sitting around in recording studios and watch. I mean, I was just talking about this last night. When I went to school, it was pre-digital, so it was all tape. But it's all about microphone placement and getting good tone and whatnot.
And it's still about that.
It's absolutely. So it was really just about learning the platform, the digital editing platform. And so in sitting and watching other people manipulate it, after a while, I just got a rig for myself and have been learning it ever since.
Yeah, but I imagine things are a lot easier now. I mean, with Pro Tools, you run Pro Tools, I imagine.
I did,
through
yeah.
here. Okay, and were you ever at the stage where you were splicing tape together and putting that?
Back in
is that how you
school, we
started
were
out?
definitely doing that.
Because I go to school for a similar thing, radio obviously, and then sound design. But I could not possibly imagine having to do that.
Yeah,
Taking
things
an
like
actual razor blade and-
delay.
yeah.
You'd have to cut tape and run big loops that would run maybe the length of the control room in there, around a mic stand, and have it come around if you wanted a 10-second delay or something.
Wow.
Now it's just pushing buttons to manipulate that.
That's
so,
awesome. Cool.
yeah.
So just real quick, what's the best part of your job and the worst part of your job?
The best part of my job as a recording engineer in this size studio is that I end up doing recording engineering, and I'm also producing a lot, because it's kind of generally bands are looking for my help in sound and
Yeah,
whatnot.
you're the
and so-
sole engineer here. You don't
Yes.
hire outside work to come.
No.
It's
Yeah.
your studio. You record them. You track them. You produce their albums and everything. That's awesome.
And it's a total challenge, and it's it's all just a puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
Mixing is a puzzle, just trying to get. It's all about the song. What's going to be best by the song, you know. So we're all here to make the song as good as it can be.
And you guys, you work together. You and Tony, you put in some input. I know for Alouettes, at least from our experience.
I do occasionally get called in. I mean, I don't do any of the actual recording, although I've learned a lot watching John in the last 6 years about how Pro Tools works and how to set things up. But generally, John is in here with the bands. Every once in a while, I'll get a text saying, we need help on harmony,
Yeah.
or
Well, I hear you have quite an ear, yeah.
come hear what you think about this. And so I'll run in if I can and give some input. And I do, we both do occasional recording work for our artists that are in here also. If somebody wants someone to play bass or play a slide guitar or sing some harmony, we can both do those things. So
Oh, beautiful, yeah.
if they don't come in with a full band, then we can supply that. So
Cool.
Yeah.
And just one more thing I want to talk about recording-wise, because I really want your input on this. How do you guys listen to your music? Do you have a record player you have sitting around, or is it on your iPod in your car, or how do you guys mostly listen to your music?
You know, it's funny. I think it depends on what we're doing in the moment, but for the most part, a lot of our music now comes off of our iPhones, like everyone else.
Yeah.
We do have a record player, and we have quite a collection of records, and now a lot of albums are coming out on vinyl, which I love.
Oh, yeah.
So when we have time to like truly sit around and listen to music, which is one of the best things, then we'll throw on a record.
Just sit back, crack open a beer or something, just listen to an album all the way through. There's
Yeah.
nothing like that experience. But so that's why I'm curious, when you're producing or mixing an album, does that come into play, thinking that, you know, most people are going to be playing these songs on their iPods in MP3 quality?
Absolutely. When I'm mixing, people leave with their first round of mixes, and I tell them to go listen to them on their phone and listen to them in all the places.
In their car.
In their car, yeah. It's all about mixing too. I mean, ultimately, we want it to sound as good as it possibly can, but sometimes you're mixing to earbuds that are this big. I mean,
Yeah.
and MP3s, you know. It has to sound good, MP3 quality through earbuds, because that's where a lot of people are listening.
Yeah, which is kind of
Most.
sad, but whatever. That's the way it's going. So you got to work with what you got, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, back in the day, way back in the day, they used to mix to mono, and everyone was listening to music in their cars through a speaker that was maybe this big.
Yeah, so I guess not too much different if you think
So
about it.
they mixed
That's like an
50s
inch
music
circle.
Yeah.
to speakers this big. You know, they had to make sounded good in mono, speaker this big on the dashboard. Now it has to sound good as an MP3, because you know there's a lot of bitching about taking great sounding music and squashing it down to MP3s. Well, that's just one of those hurdles, you know.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
And so, again, just to promote the studio a little bit, Crylove here in Danville, you guys have professional high-end equipment here, and you're really not charging much for, you know, bands like us to come
Should I
through
charge
and record
more?
here. You probably should be. I mean, you can probably make a lot more money here, but I mean, how do you guys get by? How are you able to not charge that much for this amazing service you guys are offering?
Well, the studio is here. We built it attached to our home, so it keeps overhead down in that way. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes a huge difference.
I imagine, yeah.
And really, you know, one of the things that's so great about this studio is that everyone who comes through here, at least most people who come through here, become a little bit like family, at least for a while. And that really just promotes word of mouth advertising. And
Oh,
so
yeah.
we don't have to put out, we don't spend any money on advertising.
Well,
and
you
we're
don't
as
have to,
busy
'cause
as
we're gonna
can
be promoting it now, so.
So
Right.
yeah, it's
Cool.
a good environment. It feels good here, and people like it, and so they want their musician friends
It is.
to come in.
It's very cozy. It's at home.
Yeah.
I mean, we love coming here. So,
Yeah.
and so like we mentioned earlier, you guys play together in the bands Story Road and Lotus Rush, and you guys record here as well. So that's got to be a big help having your own studio.
Absolutely. It's all about living the dream. You know,
Oh, yeah.
what musician
Every
doesn't
musician's
want
dream
a
wants-
studio in their house? And so, you know, I got started with the idea of building this for myself, and then building it for us, and then throwing out the concept of actually being able to roll people through here. And now, as of late, it's 7 days a week and 10-hour days. You know,
We
it's
have
just
to book
awesome.
time for ourselves now.
Yeah, it's difficult to get in here.
I don't know how
and
you guys
work.
manage it. I mean, you guys,
You know, I was up at 3
you're
in the
doing
morning.
bands, you're
doing
doing
stuff.
recording, and Tony, you have another job. You do catering and all that stuff. How do you
Yeah.
guys find time to do all this? To have your own band? Make
We're
your own music?
superhuman.
Yes.
We're superhuman.
Our capes are invisible, but we do have them on all the time.
That's right.
Yeah.
Awesome, cool. And so let's hear one of those recordings that you guys did here. It's I believe we have Leah. It's the track from your self-titled Story Road, which came out last year, 2011.
It did. We quickly put this together because we went up and toured up into Oregon and Washington, and I've always wanted to put this song down on a recording. This is a song. It's entitled Leah because it's for my niece. When I got a call from my brother that he had a baby girl, everyone in my family, with a couple notable exceptions, it doesn't work for everyone to be male. But all of my other nephews were obviously male. So it was
lots of boys in this
lots
family.
of boys. That's what I'm trying to say, Tony. So when we got a call that Leah was born, everybody was very excited, and I picked up my guitar that was sitting by where I was talking on the phone, and I picked up and immediately just started playing this song. So
Beautiful.
I love this tune. It
Cool.
just because you gotta love songs that just happen like that, as
Totally.
opposed to bleeding a vein.
Oh yeah,
whatever.
those are the best songs. They
Yeah,
just come
absolutely.
right to you,
They always
yeah.
have their special place because
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like I worked on this. None. It was channeling.
Was
right?
Leah born in 2011?
Oh no, Leah was born quite some time ago.
Okay, because you can't find that track on any of the Lotus Rush, so you just kind of waited to put it on.
That's right.
Story
It's
Road.
absolutely. It's always
Beautiful.
just been sitting around waiting.
Yeah.
Cool. So,
Good deal.
like we have here, we don't have a cameraman on there right now, but Story Road, you can find it online? Do we have Reverb Nation or iTunes? Where can we find this album?
You can't. You got to come to a Story Road gig. We never
way to
put
do
it.
it.
We never put it. You know, to tell you the truth, we quickly put that CD together because we were going up to play gigs last year. Can't believe that was last year already because we're going to be heading up again. But this was very much a quick kind of last minute thing. Story Road, actually, right now we are working on something that is going to be a little bit more of a focused kind of a sound. This album is a little bit kind of all over the place.
There will
which is
be
kind
there
of
will
the
be
way
an
that we roll.
album on iTunes and Rhapsody available probably within the next 4 to 6 months.
Cool. But
Yeah.
until then, we have this here now. So
Until
let's,
then, there is the limited edition Story
That's
Road
right.
namesake.
There's 2 left, I think.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, cool. Let's get right into that. Again, you're listening to Pure Rock for Now, people, and we'll be right back with John and Tony. And welcome back. If you are just now tuning in, this is Pure Rock for Now, people, every Wednesday night from 10 to 11 p.m. here on KSFS Radio. What's going on, guys? Welcome back. We're a little short break there. Beautiful song, by the way.
Thank you very much.
It's called Leah, and
Yeah.
we were just talking about how that was about, I'm so sorry, your nephew? You
My
said?
niece. My niece, yeah.
Right, that makes more sense. Leah.
Yeah.
You were talking about all the boys and everything, so I was
Right.
thinking male. But
Right.
cool. So let's talk a little bit about Story Road. It's just the two of you guys.
Yes.
And how long Story Road been around for?
Well, officially, I don't even know, to tell you the truth. I mean, John and I have been
gonna
playing
happen
music
one day.
together for years, off and on, and then decided to become our own acoustic act probably about 2.5 years ago,
Sounds
3
good.
years ago, something like
Yeah,
that.
2.5.
Sure.
What
Yeah.
brought that on, though? Why did you decide to start doing the acoustic thing?
I think we just wanted to go out and play music with just the two of us without having to deal with the whole band. Plus, it opened up a bunch of venues to us that don't really have full bands play.
Right.
Oh yeah.
And parties.
Of course,
and
the
things like
full
that.
Yeah,
band that we're talking
totally.
about is Lotus Rush. How long have you guys been doing Lotus Rush for?
Yeah, I mean, for me, part of the Story Road story is Lotus Rush has a bunch of different sides: full band, horn section, all of that, and it can also go to total acoustic music. So it's got a whole wide, and I never was able to play the acoustic kind of side of Lotus Rush. So with Tony, we kind of started off doing just looking for material. We just played Lotus Rush material,
Right.
which we primarily still do.
A lot of, although we
A lot.
are writing specific Story Road material now, and that's what you'll
Okay.
find on the upcoming CD that we're
Yes,
working
a
on
way more,
recording now.
a much more focused kind of event. But
Yeah.
Lotus Rush has been around for 10 years. About 10 years ago, I moved back to the Bay Area. I was going to school and playing music up in Chico, and I moved back down here and started sledding around in many bands. And after a while, I wanted to put together some sort of a guitar demo, and I put out word that I wanted to do a guitar demo, and then a lot of people that I was playing with at the time said, you're recording, I want to record with you, let's do it. And then all of a sudden I realized, well, I'm just going to do an album, so
Yeah,
I just
just go
ended up
for it.
doing an album. So I finished that album and was still playing with other bands. So Lotus Rush actually never started going out and playing gigs till, after that, maybe 2002 or 3 or
Okay.
something like that.
And Tony, were you up there with John and Chico? Did you come down with them? Or you met them here?
No,
Okay.
I met John after he moved back down here and had been here for a couple years, probably about 9-10 years ago.
Okay, and I guess the story of, not Story Road, the story of Lotus Rush, the CD Rosalie. That's a little bit from what Steph has told me about how you guys met.
Not how we met, but how our relationship shifted.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's a
Because
really
Tony's
awesome.
featured on the cover.
Yeah, can we
artwork,
do a little maybe
actually.
zoom in on
Totally
the album
do
cover
that.
there? Or... So that's you on the cover there, Tony.
That is me.
That's a good photo there.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, John and I had, like I said, been friends for a long time, and then this album came out, and he asked me to come in the studio and do some harmony vocals on the album, which I did. And he had there's a concept behind the CD. It's a little bit of a story.
Not just randomness. Not just
Not total
No,
randomness.
Rosalie is the story of, I came up with a fictitious character named Rosalie who is a self-empowered woman facing the world. This is kind of what I just didn't want to get
Are you
Tony
writing
with
from
her
personal
shirt
experience
off.
there? Or
I didn't want just that.
I totally
But I wanted to
believe
get
you.
her out in Death Valley with limited clothing. No, but
It was really hot.
it's a concept
tell.
that
Yeah.
that she's self-empowered, she's feeling all of her full self, that she's facing the world.
where did this
wide
character
open.
come from? Somewhere deep inside you, or where?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So most of the songs are written directly about that character. I filled it in with some other material that I had that seemed appropriate, and then half of the material I wrote directly with that in mind. I just ran with the idea of having that as a concept for
That's
a CD.
beautiful. It brings it all together. That's,
And you take
So
a
we
series
went
of
out. We went out
photos
and
in
took
here
a
that
bunch.
does
I
that
took
too.
a bunch of photos. I'm not
Yeah.
anything close to, but the powers just clicked, and I got awesome pictures. And when we were out there, the power of the desert and everything, Tony and I became more than just friends.
Yes. And here we are today.
Here we are today, all
So,
married up and happy
well, that
in
leads right
Danville.
into
Superhero lovers.
Living the life in suburbia.
so that leads me to my next question: of do you guys get sick of playing together? I mean, you've been playing music a long time, and I couldn't imagine playing in a band
Surprisingly,
with a significant
no.
other. But
No, I mean, I will only speak for me, and John can speak for himself. Playing this kind of music for me and actually playing, not just going in and recording some harmonies, because that to me is easy. But, being up on stage or even playing with another person and playing an instrument and singing has been a real process for me. I grew up as a classically trained musician. My dad is an opera singer, and
Oh,
so
wow.
I grew up kind of in that world and doing a lot of stage productions and things like that. And in that world, you practice something until it's absolutely perfect before you show it to anyone else. And John comes from the world of, hey, I learned this chord on the guitar. Let's jam for 3 hours, you know? It's like, I don't care if I mess up, you know? I don't care what people think of me.
That transition.
It was hard.
Yeah.
I mean, thankfully, you know, John liked me and enough to put up with all of my crap that I had to deal with around getting over that that need for perfection before letting anyone see my musical talent.
Yeah, that's a beautiful combination though, to come from 2 different worlds like that and bring that together.
Yeah.
I had no idea that.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
been
the whole thing
really
from that,
great.
yeah.
I mean, he's helped me so much just sort of learn how to listen to music and pick out notes and not be afraid to play something even if it sounds wrong. And he tells me all the time, if you play a wrong note, just play it over and over again, like you meant to
No,
play
I said
it.
play it again once, maybe.
Oh.
Not over and over again.
Okay. Oh, I guess I learned that lesson wrong.
That's why it's been
But-
sounding like that. Okay. You can move on.
Okay.
No.
And then I've helped him out with learning to sing harmony and
Or
that's-
sing
Or
at
did
all.
he have trouble
Or sing,
singing?
period.
Come into it, yeah.
Uh-huh.
No, I mean, that's amazing to have someone that's actually not talented, but trained to do it, you know, perfectly like that.
Yeah.
It's gotta be a big,
No,
big
I'm
help.
total street musician. Make
Yeah.
it up. You know. So Tony comes from a completely different place.
Yeah,
So it's
you get the best
it's the
of both
meeting
worlds
of
there,
that.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And are you guys able to write together then? I mean, pretty easily?
We've written a couple songs together. That would have been a great transition to a song that we've written.
Oh,
But
we're going to go right into that right after this, but
right.
don't you worry.
But we've definitely written some stuff together. Sure.
Yeah, we write both together and then separately, and then bring the songs to each other, and the other person will add so much to it that it becomes
the
its
song
own
we're
thing.
working on right now is really a perfect blend of that. Tony had the whole idea, and then I was up at night kind of rolling with it and added a bunch of stuff to it, and so it's
It's
definitely
morphing into something beyond either of us separately,
Yeah, it's
which
cool.
is
Something
so
about
cool.
a new album coming out we're talking
Yeah.
about? Okay, cool. So speaking of transition to the song where we're talking about Free This World or Rosalie, what are we?
Let's play
Let's see, we
something
have
from
lined
Rosalie. We were talking about
Yeah.
Rosalie.
And the story of Rosalie here, and that's from, of course, the album Rosalie, which we held up earlier, the awesome album cover. So yeah, let's play that, the title track, Rosalie.
Title track. The,
right.
the
We'll
whole
be right
message
back.
is right there in the song.
Stay tuned in.
Rosalie, she holds the key. She got the positive state of mind, and her light, it shines so bright. 'Cause she's thinking for herself, and liberty, she's got liberty from the things that she's left behind. And justice, sweet justice, treating people as their own. It's all about the love she brings. She's doing it for herself, and she knows it's real, 'cause it's real. It's her life, it's her own, it's her own now. It's her life, it's her own now. Rosalie, she acts so free, lies a feather and twice as soft. In her voice, it's got that ring, balanced truth without a cost. And her life is in the moment, and that moment goes on and on. It's all about the love she brings. She's doing it for herself, and her life. It's her own. It's her life. It's her own. It's all about the love she brings. She's doing it for herself. And she knows it's real, 'cause it's real. It's her life. It's her own. It's her own now. It's her life. It's her own now. It's her life. It's her own now. It's her life. It's her own now. Rosalie, she holds the key.
Thank you again. Just now tuning in. This is P-Rock for Now, people, and we're here with John and Tony, just listening to Rosalie off their album, self-titled album, Rosalie, from Lotus Rush. And we already talked about that song a little bit, but I want to talk about this other album we have over here, Free This World. So there's a lot going on here, a lot of awesome artwork, and looks like a ton of musicians we had playing with you guys too. So
There's always it's the full band, and then with some a few people added on. Yes. Mm-hmm.
every do you guys plan this? I mean, do you have a few like a roster of people? You know, I'm gonna call this guy for this song, this guy for this song, or is it just kind of like in the moment? This song needs this, and whoever wants to come jump on it can.
I mean, I'm looking at the. I'm sorry. I was looking at the people. I have a collage of all the people that have played on it. I mean, the trumpet player. I definitely had to go find a trumpet player. Now I have an in-house trumpet player that I would reach out and have play on. No, most of the people, definitely people we knew. Absolutely. Just family.
I mean, it's good. Yeah. Pretty easy to find musicians. You run your own recording studio and everything.
Yes.
Yes, that
You
does
see
make it easy.
A ton of musicians every every year. So that's
Yeah.
that's awesome. How many albums do you guys have out? Because
Lotus
they're not
Rush
available
has-
online, as far as I know. How many are there?
Oh, they're definitely
there
all on iTunes and
Oh, these
whatnot.
ones are. It's just the Story Road art.
That's
Okay.
right. So Lotus Rush has 3 albums out. This is the latest one that came out, whatever I told you, 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And again, with the artwork on the front, I mean, Free This World is about freeing this world that we live in.
What do you mean? I love this perfect little bubble that I'm in. What
I
are you
mean, the
talking
human
about?
situation about, there's a lot of oppression and whatnot that we're trying to free this world from. It's also about a personal journey of freeing ourselves, right? Freeing, becoming the most person that we can be by freeing ourselves by, loss of attachments and whatnot.
Yeah, let's get pretty deep here.
That's right. So it's freeing up 2 different worlds. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And would you say that that's what Lotus Rush really is about? I mean, where's the name come from? Tell us a little bit more about that.
Lotus Rush is at the time I was doing really delving into Eastern religion, and I was driving down the road and I said I need a band name for this CD, and that's how I came. It just popped. It's just one of those moments.
Mm-hmm.
Lotus Rush, and I was like, wow, what was that?
Mm-hmm.
Who said that to me? I have no idea. And then I sit around and question it. Is that a good name? I don't know. Does that make any
What
sense?
do you think of the name, Tony? You like it?
I like it.
Whatever.
No, I really like it. It's interesting because the band Lotus Rush, up until this, until and including this CD, encompasses multiple genres of music, and when I think of the name Lotus Rush, it's like the lotus always kind of to get deep again for a moment. The lotus always
please do. Let's get as deep as
symbolizes
we can into this.
symbolizes like internal spirituality, you know, and whatever way you connect with that. And then the rush is like the rush that you can get from that, you know, like the high that you can
Energy
get
and
from
everything,
that.
That's
from
certainly
music,
where it
everything's
came from.
Yeah,
connecting to that.
yeah, and for me that you know that connects a lot to the multiple genres of the music, because it's not, you know, you can get very much stuck in one genre, and a lot of the time that's what it takes to get your music heard. You know,
You gotta
places.
sound top 40. You gotta.
Yeah, or even just, you know, if you're going to be a country band, be a country band. Don't be like a country band and a reggae band, because then nobody knows what to do with you. So, but Lotus Rush can play all of those kinds of music, and so it is a little
can
bit of a
appeal to
rush.
everyone,
It's like,
so.
what are you?
I mean,
you know,
that's-
what's going to happen next? And it's just
Yeah,
a spinning
that's
thing.
part of the story with Lotus Rush. I started to play out in the band Lotus Rush because I was playing with a bunch of different bands that were very genre specific, and whenever I was playing in one style, I always missed the other. So finally I said, that's fine, but I'm going to have my own band where I can play whatever I want whenever I want. And it'll never get anywhere, but I don't care. I'm just going to do whatever I want. So
That's what it's about, right?
Yeah.
So
You have your own band.
have to do what you
want
love.
to do.
these
Yeah.
CDs are really, you know, first impressions are everything, I know, but this band is so different from that first song that we just heard. I mean, the funny thing about the having a band entitled Lotus Rush is that, you know, I'll go play straight up honky tonk cowboy bars because I love playing Johnny
they wanna
Cash.
get
And
deep
I can
like that too.
twang
They
all
wanna-
night long, and I'm there with a name like Lotus Rush, and they're like, huh?
What is this kind of?
Yeah.
We're, you know, the Clayton Club
but
up
when
in
it comes
Clayton,
down-
and we're Lotus
when it
Rush.
comes
It's like,
down to it,
yeah,
you
we'll
guys
play some
just-
Tim McGraw. Like, yeah, what?
That's what they want to hear. Freebird, you know, whatever.
Right.
Yes.
So,
But what it comes down to is you guys are playing what you want to play. It's not about them. It's about you guys, right?
Yeah.
Is that where you guys are coming from?
yes,
about the
and
audience.
a sophisticated listener that can handle that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right,
'Cause
and
not
there's
many
a
of us could reach
consistent
that.
theme throughout these CDs when you listen to them from start to finish, even though, like you said, you get taken on the ride of the different genres all being melded into one from the beginning to the end. Then you get there and you're like, oh yeah, I get it.
You get
It's
it.
a
You
story.
reach that level. Cool.
That's great to hear from someone who isn't inside the songs, you
Right.
know?
Yeah, because I have no idea what it's like to listen to, because it is a ride. I mean, on Free This World, when I was trying to think of how the songs should go, I know that I go from, I believe the next song we're going to hear, which is Free This World, which is straight up reggae, and the next song after that is straight up country.
And then the next
that's-
song after
to
that
me,
is a funk song.
You're
Yeah,
okay
to
with
me
just
that worked.
putting them all together. That's fine.
Yeah, I mean that's
Alright.
where I'm coming from with music. I mean, it's like the studio. Sometimes I get calls from people about, okay, you know, the studio looks good, but what kind of music do you record there? I'm like, you know, any kind of
Anything,
music,
yeah.
yeah, because
Whatever
that's where
comes
my
in.
head is at. Is that, and really it comes down to. When I was growing up, my father listened to every different kind of music.
Yeah,
so,
and it was the same in my house.
Yeah.
Everything.
It's from cowboy to classical. It was just all music. It's not like this is what we listened to and something else sounded weird to me.
Full-blown rock and roll. Yep.
Yeah.
Would you say any of the artists that you guys see in here influence your sound at all?
Definitely, absolutely. Yes, when somebody comes in and has got, you know, and I spend a lot of time with them, say with with an Alouette or something, you bet after it has an influence.
It's touched you.
Yeah. Well, yeah, absolutely.
So what's the future here of Lotus Rush or Story Road? I mean, I guess.
Well, world domination. You know?
That's obviously.
Nothing
Total,
less. We won't
complete
accept
world
nothing
domination, and just having, you know, some sort of a.
Earlier you mentioned you guys had traveled. I thought you said up north, and you're doing it again, but it's very vague. Where are you going? Where were you?
We were and are going up to Oregon and Washington.
Okay.
We have a festival in Oregon, just east of Portland, that we play in the summer, that the full band plays every summer.
Nice.
And
What's
then
that festival called?
that is the Sandy Mountain Music Festival, and it's up in the mountains east of Portland. It's beautiful there.
I can
Awesome.
imagine. Yeah. I love it up there.
So we do that, and then we just, you know, build a kind of a mini tour around it, and book gigs both for the full band and just for the two of us.
Well, that's, I guess, pretty easy to do. I mean, you get the whole band up there, but you guys can split off and do your own thing too.
Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yep.
Do you have you already planned out? Is it a summer tour coming up?
Summer tour coming up. We'll do it in July. As of right now, we only have 1 or 2 gigs booked, so we are looking for more places to play.
Okay.
Yes, I have to start doing that.
Yeah.
I would say that,
That reminds
We've
me,
been
it's
working
almost
too
summer.
much, actually.
again, getting back to the studio, being busy. Yeah. Gary Pittman, the keyboard player for Lotus Rush, besides myself, Gary's been in the band the longest. Just had a baby 3 days ago. His
Oh,
wife did.
Congratulations.
It's awesome.
Gary.
So we've been a little bit on hiatus lately, definitely. But
Gonna
we're
celebrate for a few days and then
yeah,
get
and we'll
back
be
into
putting
it,
it
so.
back together this summer, go out
Yeah.
and play some gigs.
Cool.
But with the tour, the rest of the band can do like a very long weekend, and then they go back to regular jobs. And then Tony and I, of course, have anything but regular jobs. So we hung out for quite a while last year, playing night after night. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
driving
it
around.
was really
And
great.
even if shows don't
Everything
come around, you can just hang
from
out up there.
showcase,
Yeah.
places to just funky coffee houses and
Like
wherever
meet
we
people
were. I
along the
have
way,
no
and you're like,
idea.
yeah, we'll
Yeah.
play here.
Yeah.
It's
Those are the
really-
best shows, I
yeah.
think. So.
Yeah, well, they
it's
can
really
be.
good.
It can be very interesting. Yeah.
They can,
We
yeah.
played for a couple that owned. What town was that? With the coffee house that we booked on like a Tuesday night, and
I don't
it
remember
was
what town
something.
that was, but yeah, we ended up pretty much. It was so the coffee house really wanted us, but we only had a Wednesday night available. Every other night was booked, and so they usually are closed on Wednesday nights. So they're like, well, we'll go ahead and we'll stay open and we'll do as much promotion as we can to get
So
people in here,
cool.
but we don't
Yeah.
know what will happen. And we're like, well, that's fine. We don't care. We're going to be here anyway. We may as well play some music. So we go in and we set up, and there's a couple people in there because it's right before closing, and we start playing music, and people are like, oh, great, cool, there's music, and so they stay, but we were booked to play for 3 hours. And so if you've already been in the coffee shop for 3 or 4 hours studying, and then you decided to stay an extra hour because there's music playing, you're not going to keep going. But nobody else came in because everyone assumed it was a very small town.
So you're playing to
I
the
don't know where we
owners
were.
of
can't
We played to the
remember.
owners who were from Brazil and who just like started making drinks and were dancing, and they were like, "No, keep playing.
That's
We
what I
love
mean.
you."
Sometimes
So
those are the
cool.
best shows.
It was
you know?
really fun.
It's very highly
It was a
entertaining.
very fun
Yes.
show.
Because
Absolutely.
you really you establish a connection with the audience, and no matter how big the audience is, it doesn't matter. It's
That's
right.
establishing that connection. Next
Yeah.
time you guys go back up there, they know who you guys are. They remember how great of a
We
time
may
they
be
had. So.
big in Brazil right now. Who
That's
knows?
true.
I don't know. She
Who
took a
knows?
bunch of CDs. I don't know. We may be going to Brazil. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
And so for this tour coming up, how long do you guys typically go for? A week, 2 weeks?
A couple
couple
weeks.
weeks, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Couple weeks. You know, as
And,
long as we can.
mhm.
It is tough with day jobs. Although, like John said, we do not have typical day jobs, so it does
Yeah.
make it a little bit easier. But in preparation for that, and while Lotus Rush is on hiatus, Story Road is, as I mentioned earlier, is working on a CD right now. The more official
We should
CD.
expect that out
right
this
now.
summer or next year,
Well,
maybe?
it better be ready by July,
Okay, for
or
the
we're in
tour.
trouble.
There you go.
Yeah, yeah.
That's cool. Promote it along the way and everything.
Yeah.
So my band's been on tour as well too, and there's a lot of awesome stories. I want to know maybe a quick little story from tour, like the funniest thing that's happened, or
Well, the
best part
coffee
of
house
tour.
thing was
That was
definitely very
definitely a highlight?
entertaining, Yes.
That was
You know,
Any unexpected
I
things
just- I
happen
thought
along
about-
the way, or
yeah.
other than that, I mean.
For me, what I just thought of when you said that, I knew that I was really stacking up the days when you get out of the bed in the motel and you go to the bathroom and you walk right into the wall, because the motel
Yeah.
the night before was in a different,
in a different
Different
city,
layout.
in a different layout.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
was like, all right, I'm out here. That's right. And now I'm walking to the wall and I have no idea where I'm at. So, we loved it.
Yeah.
It was very difficult to stop last time.
Yeah.
I was like, we just keep on going. It was fun.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
It's beautiful to just wake up in a different city every day.
Yeah.
There's something about that feeling, just being on the road and everything. It's,
Yep.
it's
Yeah.
really special. So.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, let's go into another track here, Free This World, title track from your, this came out, 2009 release.
Yeah.
So big hand again for John and Tony, going right into Free This World. We'll be right back.
See the waters as they come to rise. The levee's got a hole, it's compromised. 300 dead in a water hole. See the anger in a mother's eyes as she watches her baby die. death cry of a nation under siege. The fearmongers, they do it so well. Telling the truth can be a living hell. The people afraid to live the life that was given to them. Free this world. Free this world. Free this world of pain. Free this world. Free this world. Free this world of pain. Free this world. Free this world. Free this world of pain. Free this world. Free this world. Free this world of pain.
Thank you, and welcome back to Pure Rock for Now People. Final segment of our show. John and Tony are going to play a few songs for us, so thank you again for tuning in. We are live every Wednesday night from 10 to 11 p.m. from KSFS Radio. And here we go with the song Putting the Pieces Together. Take it away, guys.
Land of the free, put up a fence, pistol to your head in self-defense. It don't make sense. Try and put the pieces together. The biggest dog, the biggest guns. My day's right for the chosen ones. Are you not God's sons? Try and put the pieces together. Maybe there's something wrong with my perception. Maybe there's a problem with my sight. Maybe I'm a victim of elaborate deception. Good is bad, wrong is right. Good is bad, wrong is right. The prize is great, the price is steep. It's a dangerous game and it's played for keeps. We're in too deep. Try and put the pieces together. To the victor goes the spoils. It's gold for blood, then it's blood for oil. The cauldron boils. Try and put the pieces together. something wrong with my perception. Maybe there's a problem with my sight. Maybe I'm a victim of elaborate deception. Good is bad, wrong is right. 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 Good is bad, and wrong is right.
Thank you. So that song we just played was called Put the Pieces Together, and that is a song that Story Road does now, but was originally a Lotus Rush song.
That's true. And the lyrics right there are written by my buddy Paige Jackson.
Yes, great lyricist.
Uh-huh.
And
Shout out to Paige.
this next song is a song that we wrote together with a little bit of help from a friend of ours, Becca Barnett, who is another awesome singer-songwriter. And it is called Walk Right In.
What's this song about, Tony?
It's about walking into the light. Just keep walking into the light, and all will be good.
I like it.
All right, good. I haven't really thought about it
we're
before.
never
but
going to
that's-
interview each other again.
No.
That was like a tried thing, and we sampled it, and we're not going to do that again.
Okay, all right.
We're just going to have to bring Nick with us wherever we go.
I like it. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Sweet sunshine, morning dew rising. Gonna walk right in. Gonna walk. Gonna walk right in. Gonna walk. Gonna walk right in. Gonna walk. Gonna walk right into the light. Cool moon waits brightly. Call to the horizon. Gonna walk right in. Gonna walk. Gonna walk right in. Gonna walk in. Gonna walk right in. Gonna walk. Gonna walk right into the light. You come so close to me that I can barely see.
so
down
close to me
know you can see me out in the crowd and
that I
that I
can
find
barely
out,
see.
knowing you feel that we can make it high.
So close to me. You come so close to me. Thank ya.
Thank you very much.
I realize it just sounds so yummy in these headphones, and the live studio audience can't hear any of that.
It's
can they?
Yeah.
I mean, just the vocals a little bit, obviously.
Oh, right.
A little
Well,
louder. But other
there you
than
go.
that,
I'm underselling
it's really
ourselves.
good. What do you guys think it sounds like? Yeah. Cool.
All right.
Should we talk a little bit about that, or I guess you guys did right before?
Yeah, we
Walk
talked
into the
about
light.
that.
We summed that up pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
What
pretty
should
much
we know
it.
about?
That was during our brilliant interview session that we had, just the two of us.
Without you. Yeah.
What should we know about our last and final song here?
Well, we thought we'd end with a bit of a tribal thing.
I'm feeling it. I brought my paint and all that.
I guess another part of it's just all about talking about yourself. It's so great. Another part of Lotus Rush definitely is playing cover music.
Yeah.
Going out and
Yeah.
working bars. Which
We
I
did a lot of that for a long time.
Yeah,
We don't do that
so-
so much anymore. But.
So it's about going out and playing music that people recognize, but for my own interest in playing it entirely different as recorded.
Yes.
So this would be a real good example of that. This is a Beatles song that probably you will all recognize. But I realized that this song that's in 3 could be totally taken from a kind of an acoustic song and put to a kind of a very much a driving beat, which I believe that the live studio audience can grab a shaker or anything right over there. Careful who grabs a tambourine, but yeah, I don't know. We didn't really do an audition process before this, but I'm sure we're all going to be great.
It's awesome.
Of course, it's going to sound
So we
awesome.
have Stephanie Day on percussion. So.
That's right.
Stephanie Day is on percussion. Follow Stephanie. Who knows? Maybe even Nick's going to play the congas over here. It could get seriously crazy at any point. Maybe Paul will even play the rain stick over there. That's why
Paul is a master rain stick player.
That's right. Among many other things. So this is a tune, well, we're not even going to tell you what it is.
I once had a girl, or should I say, she once had me. She showed me a room, isn't it good? Norwegian wood. Asked me to stay, and she told me to sit anywhere. I looked around and I noticed there wasn't a chair. I sat on a rug, biding my time, drinking her wine. We talked until 2, and then she said, it's time for bed. She told me she worked in the morning and started to laugh. I told her I didn't and crawled off to sleep in the bath.
That was
So
an
big hand,
awesome
everybody, for
percussion
John and
playing.
Tony again, once more. Here at Crylove Studios in Danville, California. And thank you, guys. That
Thank
was
you,
amazing.
Nick. Thank
I
you,
don't know what to
Steph.
say.
Yeah, thank you
The
for
place is
coming.
beautiful here, and no, thank you for having us.
You're very
so
welcome.
tune in every Wednesday night from 10 to 11 p.m. on KSFS Radio, soon to be a podcast this summer. Pure Rock for Now people. Tune in next week, everybody. Thank you so much. Have a good night.
All right.
Now go home. We don't want you.